What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners for today's 14-game MLB main slate, courtesy of Awesemo.com. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, the season finale of the Four Corners here for MLB, so let's make sure to close it out strong. I'm going to do my best, but I need you to do your best, and right now, hit that like button. And also, if you want your chance at the last free month of Awesemo Plus we're giving away for the MLB Four Corners videos, like the video and comment your double dong pick down below. We did, in fact, have one from Wednesday's video, so I'll announce that guy a little bit later on, but right now, what you need to do is like this video and comment that double dong pick down below. But as always, let's waste no time and get right to it with the top pitchers on today's slate. And Vince Velasquez in a matchup with Miami, in which there are 3.7 implied runs against him, is going to be the top owned option today. Velasquez will be number 1 on FanDuel with 20% expected ownership, and on Yahoo 28%, while he'll be number 2 on DraftKings with 45% expected ownership. Velasquez's 26% K rate on the year looks solid at his price versus a Miami projected lineup who has a 27% K rate versus right-hand pitching. But Velasquez's high 10% barrel ball rate is a risk and a park upgrade for Miami. Given Miami's penchant for blowing up stacks, I could understand having some fears about Velasquez, but he is at a good price with a lot of strikeout ability, and that's probably enough to at least match the field today. And Nathan Eovaldi versus Baltimore should also find some ownership with 4.2 implied runs against him. Eovaldi will be number 1 on DraftKings with 58%, and he'll be number 4 on Yahoo with 21%. Eovaldi's cheap price is appealing on SP2 sites with a solid 24% K rate going against Baltimore's mediocrity, despite a not great 1.6 whip and 9% barrel ball rate for Eovaldi on the year. Eovaldi is not a great pitcher right now, but he is a guy at a cheap price who pitches fairly deep into games and has some strikeout upside. That's enough to justify some exposure to him, but probably not as much as the field's going to have today. And Walker Buehler at San Francisco also looks really good with 3.2 implied runs against him, which are a slate low. Buehler will be number 1 on Yahoo with 31%, and he'll be number 3 on DraftKings with 22%, as well as on FanDuel with 18%. Buehler's 29% K rate with a 130 ISO allowed in a park upgrade going against San Francisco's projected lineup that has only 2 hitters over a 190 ISO versus right-hand pitching seems like a steady spot for Buehler as long as he pitches his usual workload. The Dodgers aren't playing for anything right now with their playoff fate secured, but it still seems like a spot where Buehler could get a quick hook if things went south. I think that's the only risk for him though, because otherwise everything looks great about this matchup. And now onto our next corner, the top stacks on the slate. The Yankee stack versus Joe Palumbo should be very popular today. The Yankees get 6.5 implied runs, and Palumbo's been smacked around with a 1.7 whip and a 303 ISO allowed in a limited MLB sample, despite a middling 21% K rate. The Yankees' projected lineup matches left-handed pitching with a 246 ISO and a 131 WRC+, so the high prices for New York look rock solid in this matchup despite incredibly high ownership projected. There's one guy I like a lot as a one-off who I'll talk about shortly, but overall this Yankee stack looks really good to me against a guy in Palumbo who's had nothing at all this year. And the Milwaukee stack at Coors versus Antonio Senzatella should be popular with 7.2 implied runs for them that are a slate high. Senzatella limits power fairly well given that he pitches at Coors half the time with a 184 ISO and a decent 6% barrel ball rate, but it's still a massive total here for Milwaukee. And even if Senzatella limits power, he has just a 12.6% K rate that will offer Milwaukee's power-happy lineup with 6 hitters over a 186 ISO versus right-hand pitching a good shot at having some production today. For Milwaukee, I might be more inclined for mini stacks because of Senzatella's ability to limit power, but overall they do seem like they're in a really good spot, and that total's hard to avoid at Coors. And a Boston stack versus Asher Wojciechowski should also find some ownership with 6.3 implied runs for them. Woj continues to have a passable 22% K rate, but allows a 246 ISO overall that could give Boston solid opportunity. Boston's projected lineup has a 213 ISO and a 121 WRC+ with just a 19% K rate versus right-hand pitching, so chalky ownership for Betts and JD in particular can be pivoted to other quality hitters in their lineup. I prefer the other top stacks we talked about, but Boston does have some quality hitters here, and again, with only the ownership going to JD and Mookie Betts, you can find ways to make the stack without a lot of ownership. And now onto the lower owned options on the slate, and a Minnesota stack versus Eric Skoglund is one that I like. Minnesota gets 5.9 implied runs, and Skoglund has been dreadful in a limited 2019 sample with just a 2.4% K rate with a 12.5% barrel ball rate. Minnesota's projected lineup has a 222 ISO and a 120 WRC+ versus left-hand pitching, so even though Kansas City's park limits power, there could be some outlier performances against a bad-looking Skoglund. Minnesota just set an MLB home run record, and they can add to that total today going against a guy in Skoglund who has no strikeout ability and has given up a ton of power so far. And Alec Mills at St. Louis interests me despite the 5.2 implied runs against him. Mills doesn't pitch terribly deep into games, but brings a 25.4% K rate with a 1.1 whip in a pitcher's park. Mills' price is low enough to get to as the Cubs get a shot to play spoiler to St. Louis's NL Central title hopes against a lineup with a 152 ISO versus right-hand pitching. Mills has looked pretty good on the year, and the Cardinals don't have a ton to offer power-wise, so in a pitching-friendly park, I think he's a quality pivot for some of the other higher-owned cheap guys today. And a San Diego stack versus Taylor Clarke Clark interests me despite just 4.3 implied runs for them. The roof is open in Arizona, and Clark has been smacked around this year with a 296 ISO and a 5.7 xFIP allowed. San Diego's lineup mostly stinks, but it's possible at least mini stacks get there at cheap prices with some competent hitters against the 12.2% barreled ball rate that Clark's allowed. San Diego isn't that good at this point, but Clark is even worse, and I think the fact that the roof is open is going to help them out as hitters quite a bit. And Tyler Glasnow versus Toronto also looks like an interesting play with 3.9 implied runs against him. Glasnow also may not pitch very deep into the game, but he projects very well with a 34% K rate and a 0.9 whip on the year. Toronto has big power, but Glasnow allows just a 137 ISO going back to last year, and Toronto's projected lineup brings a 27% K rate versus right-hand pitching. Osmo's projections have Glasnow looking really good, and without a ton of ownership expected to go to him, he looks like a quality play with really nasty numbers on the year. And now onto our last corner of the one-offs, and Keston Hiura versus Antonio Senzatella interests me. Even though Senzatella gives up that not bad for Coors 190 ISO to right-handed batters, Hiura smokes right-handed pitching with a 322 ISO and a 160 WRC+. The Brewers are still competing for that NL Central crown, so they're going to be bringing it today, and Hiura is the best hitter in that lineup, it looks like, versus right-hand pitching. And Giancarlo Stanton versus Joe Palumbo also interests me as a one-off. Stanton's price is cheap for him, but he has a monster 315 ISO versus left-hand pitching that could send the ball through time and space on a hot Texas day, going against Palumbo's 250 ISO allowed to right-handed batters. Stanton has shown some of that pop since he's come back into the lineup for the Yankees, and the spot seems like a really good one on a hot Texas day against a guy in Palumbo who's really had nothing to show. And Nelson Cruz versus Eric Skoglund also looks good as a one-off. Cruz is a known lefty killer with a 373 ISO against a hapless pitcher in Skoglund who's allowed 51% hard contact and an 8.2 xFIP so far in 2019. Skoglund looks broken, and Cruz just mashes left-handed pitching, so it seems like a really high-quality spot to pay up for Nelson Cruz. So there you have it. There are my thoughts on today's slate. So right now, please hit that like button. And of course, if you want to win the free month of Osmo Plus, our last one ever, hit that like button and comment your double dong pick down below. On Wednesday's video, our second to last four corners, we got one more double dong in just under the wire, and it was from this guy right here, Josh Them. So Josh, email me at chris@osmo.com to collect your prize. For everybody else, if you want to join old Josh at the pay window, right now hit that like button and comment your double dong pick down below. And because this is our last four corners of the season, I have a real special deal for you. Right now, if you use this promo code SWITCHANDHEDGE, you get half off your first month of Osmo Plus. This deal's never been offered before, so get it right now. Go get all the ownership projections and player projections. Go to osmo.com/join and use this promo code SWITCHANDHEDGE for half off your first month and a special deal for the Four Corners season finale. And of course, go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. Even though the Four Corners is ending for MLB, I've got a ton of NFL content coming up, and the Four Corners will be back very soon for NBA. So go check out all I'm doing on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. So my sincerest thanks to all of you guys out there, because this has been a really successful season for the Four Corners. I think we've done probably over 100 shows. So I appreciate all of you guys tuning in, this little community we built. I appreciate each and every one of you guys who comment every day. The kind words mean a ton. The likes mean a ton. The support just being here every day means a ton. So thank you guys for watching, really and truly from the bottom of my heart, and of course from Osmo, but from me especially. And I'll see you guys again soon. So enjoy your weekends. Hope you had a successful MLB season, and I'll see you guys again soon for other sports. So see you on the flip side, guys. Good luck.